I have been an entrepreneur since 1997. I have failed many times, and I understand the pain that every entrepreneur have to go through. I'm Andrew. I'm the CEO and founder of Incubator. We are the largest private incubator in Southeast Asia. Prior to that, I have started a few more incubators before I started but under another organization. All in all, I think my incubation experience is about 10 years. I've been 10 years in this business under a political party called the Malaysian Chinese Association. So they helped us to set up the first incubator in Kuala Lumpur, one of the first private incubators in the country. And subsequently, that lasted up to the year 2009, where I came out and started on my own. So 2009 to 2016, this year, I have basically incubated more than 500 startups. So if you add in total from 2006 to 2016, I have actually worked with at least 2,000 startups in Malaysia as well as in Southeast Asia. In we have 4 different kinds of programs. We actually divide the entrepreneur life cycle into 4 different stages. The first stage is the ideation, which is basically the pre-business. Ideation stage is where we validate the business idea, conduct market validation, and eventually come up with the business model, value proposition, and the strategy of how to take an idea to become a business. So at the end of the day, when you complete that program, it's either you give up the idea because it's not viable, but if it's viable, you will have the complete confidence of moving into business. And that's where we have the incubation stage. So this second stage is where ideas are transformed into a business. And note, I will use the word business. I don't use the word product. Because that's one of the problems with our startup today. Everyone is fixated on products, but they forgot about the business. So in we are trying to turn them into looking at the business first and then the product development later. So we have to be comfortable with the business. So you have to ask yourself, what is this business all about? So if you can answer that, then you are able to develop the different kinds of products that you have to create to ensure that you realize the value proposition. So in the incubation stage, this is what we help our entrepreneurs to achieve. So we validate, we help them to create a company, we help them to develop the product, to form the team, validate the business model. And once the business model is validated, which is basically what we call early commercialization stage, then you know you have the ability to scale. Usually this stage takes between 6 months to 12 months to actually find that right secret sauce for a business to scale. And once you found that secret sauce, then you will be able to start scaling up, which is called business acceleration stage. In business acceleration, this is where we focus a lot more on revenues, creating partnership, access to market, of course access to funding, and this is where investors will have greater confidence in investing in your business because you have proven to scale. Prior to that, my advice to entrepreneurs is bootstrap. Don't talk about funding right now because you don't command a high valuation. So you bootstrap first. So my approach to entrepreneurship or startups is completely different from the others. The others will be saying, look, I develop you for the next 3-4 months and then you go for a demo day and pitch yourself in front of investors and hope that one investor will bite. It's like putting a bait, waiting for a fish to bite the bait. My approach is different. I don't believe in that. Because you're giving away too much equity too soon. So my approach is about developing value and valuation. And the only way to develop good valuation is you need to prove traction, revenue. Today, this is what people call the cockroach approach, right? And if you can see the way venture capital or even angel investment is changing, they're now looking for something that is substantiated. It's not something that you pluck it out of the sky and hoping that it will succeed, but it has to be substantiated. So that's what you call these startups are called cockroaches. So I'm incubating cockroaches. So for a cockroach startup to move from ideation to incubation by bootstrapping, it only shows resiliency, that the startup is able to withstand all the challenges that come along the way. And by the time we start to scale, that means they already found a revenue model that allows them to boot up their revenue. So that is a good story to tell for investors. So the focus on business acceleration is all about scaling up. And the last stage is about growth and expansion. So this is where we look at the Southeast Asian as a market. And that's the reason why in MAT, we set up startup hubs in almost every country in the region. So we have a startup hub in Brunei, in the Philippines, coming up in Myanmar, and we have affiliate incubators in Vietnam, Bangkok, Indonesia, and hoping that also we will be able to start startup hubs in Cambodia, Laos, and in almost all 10 countries in ASEAN. Why? Because when these entrepreneurs start to go into the regional market, they have a place called home. And that is the vision.